So our brain looks for relationships. It's the very first thing that our brain needs. It needs a relationship that says and proves and affirms that I'm significant, that I'm loved, that I'm tended to, not just tended to, but attended to. There's a big difference. Tended to is I put a spoon in your mouth with some food on it. Attending to means I'm paying attention. Attending to is mommy's face and baby's face. There's some serve and return. You're looking back and forth. You're cooing back and forth. It lets the baby know that they're significant. It lets the baby know that they're there. A lot of
All right, so
the
you're saying, to tie this into some previous episodes, just giving them their food and shelter isn't enough. If you stick them down in front of the TV and let them stare at a screen for 10 hours a day, they need that human connection. They need to feel the warmth and listen to the heartbeat curled up against you. Is
the
that what you're
screen time
saying?
is a the screen time is even a whole, we could do a whole nother a show on that one. But yes, it's exactly what I'm saying. If the child's not getting that from mommy initially and then daddy as well, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but that relationship connection, it's all about connections. If you're making the connections, if your brain is seeing that face, smelling that body, feeling that touch, listening to that coo, those high-pitched mommy baby talk type of things, the brain starts to connect. It connects all the things that it needs in that order. So the relationship and that attention actually causes the brain to develop. It literally, mommy is regulating baby. Mommy is causing baby's brain to become smarter. Lila and I were talking about this earlier. When we have some we've come so far in brain research and being able to do brain scans and stuff. We know so much more about the brain than we used to know, but we now can see imagery of things that are happening while they're happening. You can, almost do an MRI with someone walking across the street, I jokingly say. But there's a functional way that we do this, and you can literally watch a baby's brain, all hooked up to the things of mommy's brain. And when mommy's kissing baby's brain's lighting up. They're smelling mommy. There's just pheromones there. There's touch. There's feel. There's association with the voice that they're used to, been listening to for 9 months or whatever. But an infant's brain just comes alive, and what we're seeing is those connections happening. Those neurons are just inert unless they're being able to connect to other neurons. If they're not used, they're not connected, then those neurons at about 3 to 5 years old start to die off. We literally lose neurons. We literally lose brain. And there's some advantages to that too, but we lose the power to do that. A lot of that's in language. If I put a 6 month old in a cage, and they were, I'm in a cave for uh, you know a few months, even though they had perfectly good eyesight, those neurons not being used would end up dying off, and they'd become blind. So in that kind of thing, you become relationship blind if you're not getting the relationship that you need. So baby's brain's lighting up, mommy's brain is lighting up, and the baby's brain is literally connecting. It's becoming smarter and more healthy because those connections are being made. So that's
So
the
it's as
beginning.
good for mom as it is for the baby, and I think that's
Absolutely.
fascinating.
Let me
Absolutely.
break this down to the fourth grade level. We love to do that. Let's keep this simple. Lila and I worked in the medical field in the year 2000. We both graduated. Actually, she graduated from college in 99, but we worked there for years before that and a couple years after. Since then, in the last 20 years, the amount of knowledge we have about the brain because of new scanning technologies, think of it as a high tech x ray, a CAT scan. They can actually see what parts of the brain are working. We know so much more than we ever did just 20 years ago. It's astounding. And you're saying they've used this to do studies where just by a mom kissing her baby, it can show that the kid's getting smarter. They need that love. And